This is completely out of character for her. Her sister is a kind, loving, nurturing person who just wouldn't just leave. She wouldn't leave her daughter. She wouldn't leave her family. She was so excited to be pregnant. This is not like her.
Please, we need your help.
Manj, if you're out there, we need you, we love you. Call us, call the police. Just let us know if you're okay. Maya needs you, Maya loves you.
Welcome to Crime Beat. I'm Anthony Robart. Tonight, a frantic search unfolds after a mother and school teacher is reported missing. Police race against time to find Manjit Panghali, 4 months pregnant when she vanished, as they work to unravel the mystery behind her sudden disappearance. Here now is Christa Dao with Not Without Her Daughter.
Manjit had left around 6:30 p.m. on October 18th to go to a yoga class, and the last time that she was physically seen by anyone were 2 friends of hers at the yoga class see her leaving about 8:30 p.m.
Her prenatal yoga teacher was the last person to have seen her, and then she was supposed to come straight home, which she would have done, which she did every time.
Manjit and her husband Mukhtar Panghali, or MP as he was known, had been married for about 10 years. They lived in Surrey, a suburb of Vancouver, and were both teachers.
By all accounts, this was a very well-established, great family with a young child and one on the way, good careers, responsibility. Her external life had no issues. She was a well-loved elementary school teacher. Friends all spoke highly of her.
It was a lot of just fear and anxiety, just wondering where she was, because we knew this was not like her, and so something must have happened to her. Things really started to not make sense because she would not have left Maya. MP doesn't know. I think everybody was just trying to figure out where she was and why she wouldn't have told anybody.
He said it was a happy day. He had been at work. He picked up some toys for Maya, checked in on a property they were building, and managed to make it home in time for her to leave at 6:30 for her yoga class. He said their interaction was, "Okay, love you, have fun." And that was the last time he saw her. She should have been home by 9 p.m. When she wasn't, he just assumed she was going for tea with some of her friends from the yoga class.
He wasn't too concerned, thinking that she would come home. He was with his daughter, Maya.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
He did, just before midnight on October 18th, make a phone call to emergency ambulance service, just asking if there was any sort of accident that occurred. He was told that they weren't aware of any vehicle collision.
He assumed she was fine and went to bed. When he woke up the next morning to go to work, he realized she wasn't there. He said he basically did a search of the house to see if she fell asleep on the couch.
He ended up phoning his father-in-law, Mr. Basra, to come, and he was the only other individual that had the authority to take their daughter to preschool.
Her parents were obviously concerned about, well, where is she? But did as they were supposed to by taking Maya to school, and he went off to work.
That morning, Manjit still hadn't come home or shown up to work.
My mother called me and said, she didn't come home last night. I don't know where she is, call her friends.
The Basra family were phoning friends of Manjit's, so they were kind of spreading the word and saying, hey, she hasn't come back, this is normal. Mukhtar Panghali, who was the husband, he gets a call around 5:30 from Mr. Basra saying, hey, where are you? No one's picked up Maya, she's at our house. And then he says, well, I just assumed Manjit was home and already picked her up. So then he ends up leaving and going over to the Basra residence. They're saying, hey, where's Manjit? This is not normal now. It's been over almost 24 hours. He basically said that she did have her cell phone with her, that he made numerous calls, the cell phone was off. Subsequently, through the next day, he said he had made further calls, no answer. Friends of Manjit had started phoning her cell phone, it was off.
They started to get a little bit, okay, if she doesn't show up, she'll show up. She'll show up in the next little while. We'll hear from her.
Manjit's sister left that day for Edmonton, but quickly returned home.
It was that evening that we got there that things started to, okay, she hasn't shown up, something's wrong. And then we booked our flight back home and came back the next day.
More than 24 hours after Manjit was last seen, her husband, MP, notified police.
The first official report that's made to the RCMP is 26 hours later, so just before 11 p.m., I believe, on the evening of the 19th.
Manjit Panghali is described as a 30-year-old Indo-Canadian woman. She is 5 foot 8 inches tall, between 130 and 140 pounds, and she is 4 months pregnant. She was last seen wearing a black fleece top and black stretch pants. RCMP say the young mother was last seen driving away from her home in her 4-door gray Honda Accord with license plate number 984GBK.
We are following absolutely every lead we have and leaving no stone left unturned in this investigation.
Manjit was 4 months pregnant at the time she disappeared. The couple also had a 3.5-year-old daughter named Maya.
Her daughter was her whole life, and she loved being a mother. She loved being around children. I think she was very nurturing and maternal in her personality anyways, with her friends and her family. So it was just a natural for her.
She was a person of routine and especially very connected to her daughter. And if there was something she had to do for her daughter, like come back home, take her to school the next day, that would be very out of character for her to not be on that schedule.
Manjit's family was holding out hope she would be found soon. But even before her sister was told she was missing, she had an eerie feeling.
Right before my mother called, the milk that I was pouring for my daughter, the bottle spilled all over the place, and it just kind of gave me a weird premonition.
Has that ever happened to you before?
It does, yeah. And it's usually, I know it's superstitious, but it's usually a sign of not good news.
Welcome back to Crime Beat. It's been 4 days and still no sign of Manjit Panghali. Police are trying to determine, did she leave on her own or was she the victim of foul play? Meanwhile, her family is doing everything they can to find her. We now return to Christa Dao with Not Without Her daughter.
We are worried sick. We can't sleep. We can't eat. Everybody's going crazy. We need you to come home. Just call. We just need to know that you're okay. That's it. That's all we want. Just call home. Please call home.
We printed out posters, missing posters that we went and put around everywhere where she could have been.
Meantime, investigators worked backwards and retraced her last steps, searching for any signs of life.
We would typically do banking records to see when they last used their bank card, obviously looking for the car that she left in, looking for her last known location for a multitude of reasons, like CCTV cameras, witnesses there that would have seen her. It seemingly was a dead end in terms of banking records because Mukhtiar had been checking their joint accounts regularly since this happened and could tell that she hadn't spent any money. Tracing cash is not going to happen. So we were out of a few leads.
We start on the outside and look at, who are the closest people to the individual and kind of work from there to try to peel back the onion to find out who was this person, what was going on, is there a reason that they may not have gone missing.
When we don't see any other issues in their life, like problems at work or another situation, the suspect pool becomes quite a bit smaller.
Really the two key things are who had motive and who had opportunity. That's what you look at, and now what was occurring in Manjit's life.
She went missing on a Wednesday, and I ended up interacting with Mukhtar on a Saturday. I asked him to come in to provide us a fulsome statement as to what Manjit's last few interactions with him were, the history of the relationship, where he thought she should be, where she was supposed to have been.
There were concerns about his brother had moved down from Merritt and was living with them for the past year.
In the beginning, it was fine. And then I think MP started drinking more and smoking more marijuana more when his brother had moved in, and it started to create quite a bit of conflict. It got to a place where it was starting to get very uncomfortable and kind of nasty. He was starting to be rude to her as well. And I think that she put her foot down and said he needs to move out. And he did eventually move out.
It's also been learned Manjit's brother-in-law, Sukhvinder Panghali, was recently charged with criminally harassing another woman over 3 months in the summer. He appeared in court a day before Manjit vanished.
We did end up having him put as like a potential person of interest.
MP wanted police to know about an old high school friend of Manjit's, Tony Fennell.
He was talking about how Tony was having issues with his wife, and now Manjit was the shoulder to cry on, but they'd be going out for dinners and she would try and dress up extra specially nice for him.
We could sense that he believed that there could be something more going on there, possibly, was she potentially having an affair with this person?
So as I'm hearing about Tony Fennell, a lot of things were running through my mind, because an affair could be a reason why you would run off without your child, given that he had a wife. And at the time of her going missing, Tony Fennell had gotten back together with his wife. So, a love triangle scenario is a possibility. A wife finding out about an affair and getting angry was a possibility. In talking with MP, I either thought something terrible has happened to Manjit, or she's run off with Tony Fennell. We had to look into the fact that she may have just decided that this relationship wasn't what she wanted, she needed a break, but that was the red flag in this, is that everyone was saying she was never going to leave her daughter. It was our assessment at that time that this was suspicious. It wasn't just your standard missing person case. There was lots of reasons to believe something worse had happened to her.
On October 23rd, 5 days after Manjit's disappearance, Delta Police received a chilling call.
That morning at 9 a.m., we get a call from a dog walker who indicated they were down by the Delta port, which is by the big port container facility in Delta. There's a big causeway there, and there's a bit of a dike area. As the individual got closer, it definitely looked like it was a human remains and something had been burnt there.
Delta police continue to secure a crime scene off Deltaport Way, where a charred body was discovered Monday.
There was that feeling as soon as you found out there was a body that this is not going to end well, because if you've got a high-profile missing persons case and now they find a body burnt in an isolated area.
The body was found in a makeshift kind of campfire type situation, rocks around it. You could tell a female had nail polish, a necklace. There was something in my stomach saying, okay, could this be her?
That same day, Manjit's family held a press conference, still unaware of the news about a body being found.
Call the police right away, please, with anything. And Manj, if you're out there, we need you, we love you. Call us, call the police. Just let us know if you're okay. Maya needs you, Maya loves you.
Please, we need your help. Thank you.
Wondering about why you would wait 26 hours before calling the police. Why? Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure that, in fact, she was gone, like that we have nobody within our immediate family who has an answer for us. As soon as we had nobody within the family with an immediate answer to her whereabouts, we contacted the police immediately.
The bottom line, you had no fights, no arguments, nothing that she'd leave because there had been an argument or anything like that. No.
All that information is with the police. No, we left happy. Everybody left happy. I'm going to prenatal class. Have fun. We'll see you soon.
At that same press conference, police revealed details about Manjit's vehicle.
The vehicle in question has been located, and I have not got any further details as to the circumstances under how it was found. All I'm permitted to tell you at this point in time is that it has been found in the confines of the Lower Mainland.
On October 23rd, so after 2 p.m., a patrol officer in Surrey ends up finding Manjit's vehicle parked and locked in the Wally area of Surrey. So the vehicle was located parked, secure, no keys, the alarm was on. The seat was in the farthest position back, so we had a police officer sit in the car, same description, height, and they could barely touch the pedal. All to indicate that most likely the person that last drove that vehicle wasn't Manjit, because she wouldn't be able to drive it in the seat position that the vehicle was.
More than a week after Manjit's disappearance, police confirmed the charred remains found in Delta were that of the 31-year-old pregnant mother.
This is the outcome most feared by Mrs. Panghali's family, friends, and colleagues. Mrs. Panghali and her unborn child have had their lives taken prematurely and very tragically. This type of crime defies comprehension and the value of human life.
It was very traumatic and devastating for all of us. It just leaves you in like such a state of shock, like you don't know what to think. And she was very badly burnt. There's just like charred remains, and they had to ID her through her dental records. Which is just, wow. I was just having an anxiety attack. Yeah, it's really hard for me to go to that moment, so unimaginable. Like, how could somebody do something like that?
Welcome back to Crime Beat. As the tragic discovery of Manjit's body is brought to light, detectives begin an intense investigation to uncover the person responsible for her murder. We now return to Christa Dao with Not Without Her Daughter.
Autopsy results revealed Manjit was killed and then set on fire. Her cause of death was strangulation, but wounds on her body included blunt force injuries to her pelvic area and neck.
The autopsy did determine that Manjit was already dead at the time. There was some green material that was found at the bottom of the body to indicate possibly that that was something that she was wrapped in and brought there and burned.
The location of her body changed everything. It switched over to a different police force. The location of her body was what adjusted the whole investigation to drill down on who now killed her.
With the body now identified, questions were being raised about whether Manjit's killing was targeted or a random attack.
Should the general public be fearful that there's somebody out there grabbing women and killing them?
The Delta Police do have a team assigned to the homicide investigation. We're very confident that they'll work aggressively and thoroughly to resolve this.
We're continuing to conduct our investigations, looking and doing canvassing all the roadways and businesses, looking for CCTV camera from the point of the Panghali residence to South Surrey, all the way to where the vehicle was located, just to try to find evidence of, can we see Manjit's vehicle? Do we ever see anyone approaching Manjit?
A miserable BC rainstorm couldn't keep over 1,000 people from attending the funeral for a young pregnant mother who was murdered. No one has been charged in the murder, and police were on hand at the funeral, videotaping people heading into the service.
We want to have a sense of, okay, who's coming here, what's going on, and could there be another lead there that we could look at?
Among the alleged suspects, MP suggested to police who could be responsible for Manjit's death was one of her brothers.
He identified the brother as well as Tony Fennell, so those were people that we subsequently end up interviewing and conducting actually polygraphic examinations on. We spoke to Tony several times, and he was pointedly asked if he was having an affair. Did he kill Manjit? Did he dispose of her body? And both of them passed. So again, we can eliminate them as suspects.
I never thought Tony would ever be a suspect. He was a kind and loving family man, and he was a good friend to Manjit.
A paternity test was also done on Manjit's unborn child.
We wanted to just confirm that. Was it someone else's child, or was it Mukhtar's child? And it was confirmed that it was Mukhtar's child.
With the suspect list dwindling and no key piece of evidence located, police went back to question MP, hoping for any new leads.
He started really pushing back and saying, hey, I've told you guys everything, why do you keep asking me this? And he actually walked out of that interview. He was almost getting his back up, thinking that, everyone was pointing the finger at him.
They met at UBC. They were both studying to become teachers. And I think as soon as she met him, she kind of knew that's who she wanted as a husband, because he was tall and he was educated, he was traditional, he had a turban.
They seemed to be the perfect couple, educated, have a nice house, have nice jobs, they're both teachers, they got a young, beautiful daughter, got another child on the way, and that they're living the Canadian dream.
When we first met, he was fantastic. He was like an older brother to me. He was funny, he was responsible, he took care of my sister, and he was very respectful towards everybody in the family. And I think that his expectations were what a lot of traditional families have, is like, I'm gonna be the breadwinner, and I'm gonna, you're gonna take care of the children and do the housework. But the thing is, she was working as well, and she wanted a little bit more equality. After having Maya and things started to kind of progress in the marriage, little things became issues, like now who's gonna do the laundry and who's gonna do the cooking.
During those background investigations and the interviews of MP, it was determined that they were having some relationship problems.
The biggest thing was the drinking, because I think that he felt that he could go out and do that while she stayed home and did the cooking and cleaning and took care of the child, because he had a right to go out and do that as a man. We just assumed that they had problems like everybody else has problems. But I think when we started to notice, and when she started to tell us about, he's been sick all over the floor and we've been fighting more, I think that's when we noticed that something wasn't right.
In trying for a second child, the couple had struggled with infertility.
She would be doing her pregnancy test and it would end up negative, and she would be really, really upset about that. That really did affect her. I think she did believe that having another child would bring things back to normal, and it would ease all the conflict that they had in the relationship.
He also had made a comment that Manjit at one point was angry at him and said, I've got someone else that can get me pregnant. And his belief of that was the only other person this could be was Tony Fennell.
They had their situations. She had mentioned that one time, I guess she got angry and she sprayed something in his face, and she got scared that he was gonna hurt her, and then she took off in the car. She went once to a hotel, but she took Maya with her. Otherwise, she would go over to my parents' house. We always knew where she was.
When investigators delivered the news of Manjit's body being found to her husband, MP, police were surprised by his reaction.
He was upset. However, right after that initial being upset, he became very matter of fact. And, he was almost asking me and my partner more questions about what do you know, what did you find, where she was located, do you have the vehicle? Me and my partner thought, okay, this is kind of weird. You've just found out that, your wife and that's 4 months pregnant with your child is dead. Like, why are you asking all of these questions? We were never having something solid that we could kind of anchor to say, okay, we've got something here, we're on the right track, and it was getting frustrating.
But looking back might provide some more insight. Investigators initially assigned to the case pointed out some red flags early on during their first encounter with Manjit's husband.
He started referring to her in the past tense. One was he said, "I loved her, I just want her back in my life." When we were discussing Monday being a school day, he was talking about, well, do I need to call the school because I don't want 40 kids looking around wondering where their teacher is and she never comes. So he was already pre-planning for the fact that she wouldn't be there Monday.
It's now been 6 weeks since the discovery of Manjit's remains, and no arrests have been made. And just as the trail was about to go cold, homicide investigators found something unexpected from the early hours of October 19th, not that long after Manjit was last seen alive.
One of our investigators comes across a video from a Chevron gas station, which is about 4 blocks from the Panghali residence. And on that video, there shows an individual, a South Asian male with a turban that looks very much like MP. You see an individual walk through. He's wearing an orange long sleeve shirt, and then he's got definitely black gumboots on. There's no audio. He's buying, we determined later, a day-old newspaper because it was from the morning before, and a lighter. So this would have been at 1 a.m. on the morning of the 19th. His alibi isn't there anymore. Why does somebody buy a lighter in a newspaper? And he wasn't a smoker. So what do you need at 1 o'clock in the morning?
I knew it was him. It wasn't just because of the shirt. It was the way he tied his turban and his face. I know his face.
We didn't know if there was any witnesses. We had no video outside, but maybe somebody was out in the parking lot and may have recollected seeing him pull up in a vehicle.
Delta police want to find this man, and they're requesting the public's help. Investigators think he may have witnessed something that might help them solve the brutal murder of a Surrey mom who was 4 months pregnant.
That is the individual that came forward and says that they recall being there. Their motorbike had ran out of gas and they were getting some gas, but unfortunately they didn't recall seeing MP there at that time. We started digging into the cell phone records, and from that information we determined that there were 4 calls that were made from Manjit's cell phone back to the landline at the residence. And further on, investigations that we conducted confirmed that those 4 calls, as they're going off towers, showed that the phone was traveling to the South Surrey area where the yoga class was. So indicating that Manjit had her phone and she had gone to the yoga class. As we continue to go through the records and we're looking at Mukhtiar's records, we knew Manjit's cell phone number, we knew what her hardware number was, we knew MP's number, and so we're looking and somebody goes, okay, this is weird. On October 19th at 2:30 in the afternoon, Mukhtiar's SIM card now is using the hardware of Manjit's phone. He had said Manjit had her phone, left with her phone. We know the records show she was traveling to South Surrey. Her phone was making phone calls back to the residence where MP said he was with his daughter. How does now MP's SIM number end up on her phone? So that again was another aha moment. Okay, here we go. We got another piece here because he's saying that she never came back.
He had her physical cell phone, had allegedly changed the SIM card in it. How did he get her phone? Did she come home?
Manjit's car was found in Whalley, the opposite end of town from where her prenatal class was. It's also where MP originally told police he thought her class was.
It's kind of weird that this vehicle is parked almost meant to be found in the location where she, MP thought she would be, and yet it's locked up, it's secure. If MP was involved because he thought the yoga class was in Whalley, is that why the vehicle ended up in that area? If this was some stranger or abduction or something like that, often the vehicle is hidden, possibly set on fire. We don't have a smoking gun here. We don't have that confession or that key piece of evidence that, is usually, like we say, a slam dunk. His alibi was he never left. We see him in the Chevron gas station. It'll come down to, can you prove that that's him? On the cell phone, trying to figure out, was there other things that we could look at to, be able to gather further evidence. So when you start painting the whole picture, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence to say who had opportunity and who had motive, and everything pointed to Tirelessly.
I can just get you to back up, please.
On March 12, 2007, 5 months after Manjit's death, Panghali was arrested and charged in his wife's murder.
Currently charged is Mr. Panghali, 35 years old, of Surrey, of second-degree murder and improperly or indecently interfering with a dead body. Also charged is Panghali, 27 years, of Richmond. He is currently charged with accessory after the fact to murder and improperly or indecently interfering with a dead body.
Sadly, it was the same day Manjit was supposed to give birth.
This is a very bittersweet moment for us. While we are relieved to some degree with the recent developments, we are still processing through the realities of this nightmare that we've been living since Manjit's death.
One of the things that was a key part of our investigation, could somebody have been an accomplice?
Who are you suspecting helped him?
We believe there was somebody close to him that probably had to have helped him because he would have had to have trusted that person. How does he get the body down there? How does he now dump the vehicle, right, and park it there and lock it up?
The charges against MP's brother, Panghali, were stayed in 2007. Delta police said they did gather evidence, but it wasn't enough to convict. His earlier harassment charge against a former girlfriend was also stayed. In November 2010, 4 years after Manjit's death, Panghali headed to trial on charges of second-degree murder and interfering with bodily remains.
How could we have been living with such a cold, calculated monster? We never expected that anybody could even do something like this. How did this happen? Who is this person?
Welcome back. 4 years after Manjit Panghali's brutal murder, her family is finally about to learn whether her husband and accused killer Panghali will be convicted. We now return to Christa Dao and the conclusion of Not Without Her Daughter.
When he came to trial in 2011, he totally changed his appearance. He'd shaved his beard. He no longer had a turban. He was clean shaven. And I think a lot of that was done strategically by defense to bring doubt. The key piece for me was the video that they were going after to try to discredit that that was him.
The Crown's case, Panghali had both the motive and opportunity, and he was responsible for killing Manjit and disposing her body.
He wanted her dead because she, pushed back on him. He thought that maybe she was having an affair, that, that she had kicked his brother out of the house.
He pleaded not guilty, and he had very good defense lawyers, and right from the start, they talked about how this was a circumstantial case.
We believe Manjit went to the yoga class, came back home, they got into a fight, got into some sort of argument. She's killed. Forensic evidence later tells us that she was strangled to death. So that was through the autopsy that we determined that, her hyoid bone was broken. So somebody with significant force choked her to death.
Strangulation is unfortunately a common feature in domestic scenarios, whether it actually kills people or not. It's a common thing to do in the moment of rage. So that was not shocking, but the manner of trying to hide what he had done was shocking.
One of the prosecution's key pieces of evidence, that surveillance video of a man they alleged was Mukhtar Panghali, purchasing a lighter and newspaper from the gas station. But the defense argued that was not MP in the video. It could have been anyone.
The best friend of the victim, RCMP officer Bal Candola, says a day after Manjit disappeared, Mukhtar still hadn't called police and asked Candola, couldn't it wait until the morning? Candola also identified Mukhtar as the man seen on video buying a lighter and a day-old newspaper at a gas station hours after Manjit went missing. He told police he was at home.
Prosecutors also relied on the location of Manjit's vehicle, plus phone records, including the swapping of SIM cards. MP was alleged to have been using the phone one day after Manjit disappeared.
We created an alibi for calling the emergency health services, the ambulance service the night, because an hour and a half later he's at a gas station. The cell phone he's saying that she left and had it. We know that he became in possession of that cell phone, and that would only indicate that she had come home that night. And that as a result of that, we believe he was the last person to see her. Then you couple that with the motive of the tension in the relationship because of the brother, because of his drinking, because of potentially the Tony Fennell, all those things, that kind of giving motive here.
And there were questions about where the couple's daughter Maya was the night Manjit was murdered.
Traveling that distance and then burning a body, dumping the car and coming back, you're talking a couple hours, so that's pretty risky to leave a 3.5-year-old at home. Could there have been somebody there watching her? Possibly.
Friends of Manjit Panghali are in court describing what was going on in the family of 2006. One says that Manjit didn't like her husband's brother living with him and that she gave her husband an ultimatum: kick his brother out or she would leave. After her body was found, Mukhtar told another friend that Manjit had made a girl out of him.
Their defense was, this is a circumstantial case, you have not proven murder beyond a reasonable doubt. So Mr. Panghali never took the stand.
He has always been emotionless throughout. There's been no remorse from him at all. He's just a sick, evil man.
The whole thing was just such an emotional roller coaster ride of, oh, they've got evidence and it's going to be, they've definitely got him now, to, oh no, I wonder what's going to happen. It doesn't look good. It was a lot of different emotions, but mainly a lot of anxiety.
A man accused of killing his pregnant wife and then burning her body has been found guilty of second-degree murder. A judge also finding Mukhtar Panghali guilty of interfering with human remains. 31-year-old Manjit Panghali was reported missing in October of 2006. Her burned body was found in Delta 5 days later.
In delivering her decision, the judge said she had, quote, no doubt the man in the surveillance video was Mukhtar Panghali, adding burning Manjit's body afterwards took further effort and risk.
In her sentencing, the judge said Panghali acted with chilling deliberateness, attacking his wife when she was most vulnerable in a place where she should have felt safe. When asked if he wished to comment, Panghali simply shook his head.
I would like him to admit what he did. I would like him to say, yes, I did it. But he can't do that.
In March 2011, Mukhtar Panghali was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 15 years.
He did take a life, and the life of his unborn child, and is 15 years in jail enough for that? And I would say no.
With credit for time served, he was eligible to apply for parole after 11 years. Through the course of hearings and meetings after Mukhtar Panghali's conviction, including those held years into his sentence, the Parole Board of Canada stated, "You admitted to having prior thoughts of killing your wife for years as she did not appreciate you. You advised that leading up to the offense, you were fighting about your family, and when she stated your parents and brother were dead to her, and that this comment pierced you, and you knew that you wanted to kill her." In 2023, MP was granted full parole. Some mitigating factors, that he had no prior criminal history, is now in his 50s, and had voiced regret for his actions.
It was just very jarring for all of us to be like somebody that we loved and respected and took into our home ended up being a murderer. We would have preferred to have him spend the rest of his life behind bars because we're not getting Manjit back.
Manjit's tragic death sent shockwaves across the country, with growing calls for harsher sentences against those who commit intimate partner violence.
Intimate partner violence, sexualized violence is endemic, it's an epidemic, and it's one of the most pressing and serious public safety concerns and crises that we have, both here in British Columbia and all across Canada.
He developed such a hatred for her, and I think it was because he felt so entitled. He felt like he owned her, that she was a piece of property.
Do you wish you would have left him?
I think that she would have left him because I didn't see that he would be changing his behavior. And yes, I do wish that, but I also now know that it is when the women are getting ready to leave is when the violence happens.
There's many red flags that are really normalized within society. Things like isolation, which is typically one of the first signs. Emotional abuse, so name calling, criticizing, kind of what we now refer to as gaslighting, in the sense of some kind of crazy making behavior that the abusive partner does.
In sharing Manjit's story, I'm hoping that somebody can recognize that something isn't right in their relationship and that we can save some other woman's life. It's a way of keeping her spirit alive. It's a way of honoring her memory.
People often wonder why women don't just leave.
Maya is now 22 years old and in university. Although she lost her mother at a young age, she knows her story and often supports Jasmine when she speaks publicly about her tragic death.
She was a loving and nurturing mother, and I learned a lot of my parenting skills from her. She was responsible, kind, and compassionate.
She reminds me a lot of my sister in so many ways. I want Manjit's legacy to be remembered as a woman that stood up for herself, and she didn't back down. She had such a warm heart, and she had such a bright future ahead of her.
You have one or two cases that stay throughout your career, and for me, this is that one that kind of hits home. It was emotional. 20 years later, it still hurts. True victim. I have 3 daughters. My youngest daughter is named Maya, and I named her after, obviously, Maya.
In 2014, Manjit's family sued Mukhtar Panghali on behalf of her daughter Maya and won over $600,000 in damages. Maya has since cut ties with her father, requesting no contact. She's been raised by Manjit's sister Jasmine and her family since she was 4 years old. Every year, a scholarship in Manjit's name helps support graduating high school students. a lasting tribute to her memory. Thank you for joining us tonight on Crime Beat. I'm Anthony Robart. Want more episodes of Crime Beat? Listen to the Crime Beat podcast now for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. And for past episodes of Crime Beat, go to the Global TV app, visit globaltv.com, or check out our Crime Beat YouTube page.